fan mail, and they replied to it, and now social media has kind of taken over that, and social media is kind of mostly one-sided. Usually, the band posts one message, to the masses. There's not really much individual communication, so this just kind of gives, like, the opportunity for, like, fans and bands to, I guess, connect easier. So this is what I've got so far, and I've got a wireframe, or not wireframe, but a flowchart. And it's pretty much going to be pretty basic. What I'm seeing is like, there'll be like pretty much your inbox, and then there's like a news feed, like where bands can post like status updates and stuff like that. So bands are going to have the option to have status updates, like Facebook statuses, stuff like that. But then they're also going to have inboxes with their fan mail. And then the fans are going to have their inboxes as well as their news feeds. So just, a pretty basic and, like, clean messaging app. So that's what
do you guys think? Daniel and Zach, do you guys have any comments?
So if I heard you right, this is for, like, bands to get in touch with their fans?
Yeah.
So they'll make a post and it'll kind of almost be like a Twitter where all their followers get notified?
They can do that. But yeah, they can make their own posts, like, Facebook or Twitter, and fans can interact that way. But they can also, like, they're going to be receiving messages from fans, like, that are private, and they can like send messages that way as well, like individual messages that kind of have more of a, I don't know, like, meaning, I guess. So.
Can you go back to your competitive analysis? So this is great if really something doesn't exist exactly like this, but in order to do this assignment, you're going to have to pull in some other screenshots and other apps that have aspects that you can compare to. So where there might not be something exactly like this out there.
No, I didn't include them in this, but I've been looking and there's really not. And so what I found is, like, there's, like, so I'm picturing something like Facebook Messenger, like, kind of layout wise, just simple like that. But then also there's, like, this app like Reverb Nation, and it's not really focused on messaging, but they do have a, like, email blast option.
And that's perfect, Caitlin. Use those screenshots in your proposal to show some of the limitations of existing apps.
Okay. Yeah, I just haven't got that far. Like, I've been working on it, but I didn't have time to put it into this yet. So.
And I think that's going to inform your wireframes in all of the features too, because as you look at some of these apps, and I was encouraging people last week to make some pros and cons of each one of them, so that as you propose your solution, you can make sure that you're addressing all of the cons for your specific target market.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep going. Good start.
Cool.
Do you guys have anything else to add?
For your look and feel, you just have flowchart and wireframes. Do you want it to be like?
That's like I haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
I think it's a cool idea.
Okay, Daniel, you want me to cut over to you?
Yeah, sure. I just showed my proposal last time, right?
I think so. You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Yeah. So my proposed app is something called Total Fit. It's a fitness.
Oh yeah.
this is I just went ahead and mocked up a flowchart, and I just wanted to get some feedback from you guys. If you think there's anything really missing, or if you think there's something that might be unnecessary, but you just have from the home screen you have just kind of like either like a radial menu or just like a hamburger menu, and the home will just have like a recent summary of what calories you've eaten or logged, the workouts that you've been to, and then maybe just like a quick little like pedometer showing you how many steps you've done. So then, yeah, you can go through, you can access the calorie counter directly to input calories and meals and stuff like that and look at your nutrition. You can go directly to your workout schedule to look at a monthly or daily view. The default is weekly. And then you can also review like past workout data, kind of see trends, see, if things are going good for you, if not, what you need to change, et cetera, et cetera. The pedometer will show you how many steps you've taken and your step goal, which can be changed in the pedometer interface. The workout log, you'll be able to add an entry. The default is daily view, and you can switch to a weekly view. And then there's a stopwatch for things like, abs, cardio, whatever you might need.
Cool. Okay. And was all of this driven by what the weaknesses of the other apps that you talked about last week?
Yeah, some of the features are. Some of them are actually just things that I really like about the other apps that I've kind of bundled into one. So the goal is kind of to be a one-stop shop instead of having a nutrition app and a workout app and maybe a pedometer. Like, for example, on my phone, since I have an Android, some of the really popular apps don't support certain things. Like MyFitnessPal doesn't support a pedometer on Android. So this would kind of combine those two apps into one.
Okay.
So
got it.
This is kind of driven by lack of comprehensive app on the market right now.
Good. Do you see how much stronger your proposal is going to be once you show weakness, weakness, weakness? Now here is the solution, and you show it in your flowchart. Just in terms of your flowchart, it's going to be very difficult to read when at this width. So what I would do is I would get creative about your line work to be able to make things stack so it's more horizontal than really wide.
Right.
And also, this is kind of a little thing, but makes a big difference. All of the line work in your flowchart, it's like real thick and heavy, and that overshadows what we should be focusing on, which is the content itself in all of these boxes.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure it was visible.
Yes.
So I can definitely take that
play around and stylize this a little bit so that it makes sense. Now you may want to come back and revise this, so you might want to hold off for a second. But as you start to map out different user scenarios, okay, I just want to. I don't feel like I'm doing enough steps a day, so I want to look at my weekly average of my steps and then change my goal. What would that look like? So think about how users might approach using your app in different ways. And that may lead you to go back and revise your flowchart because of, new paths and new features that you have to put in there.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So start sketching out some different user scenarios, like step 1, I go to this screen, and then a rough view of that screen, and then user number 1 wants to do this, user number 2 wants to do this, and sketch out what that process looks like.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, good. Looking good. You're making some progress. All right, Mr. Zach Selby. Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot to ask you guys if you had any comments.
My first thought was that it just seemed like a lot of apps that were already out there, but once you explained that it was all like comprehensive, then I thought that's good. So.
And that's the case that you're going to have to make. Remember, this proposal is selling it to a funder, and if a funder's like Caitlin, it's like, wait, I have MyFitnessPal, it works great. So that's the argument that you're going to have to build with your competitive analysis.
Cool.
And that goes for all of you guys, just FYI. Okay, Zach, your turn.
I had more of a question. For this flowchart, do you want it like how it's being presented, like how Daniel presented it, or do you want it presented like since it's an app, like how we did in information architecture, and we showed how you click through the app?
That I would call a user scenario,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
you are showing, like, I go to this screen, I go to this screen, I go to this screen. You know, the flowchart's more of like an overall map of all of the features, and user scenarios are where you kind of sketch out different screens to kind of see if all of the features there, or what would this path be that I would take through this application.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was like, you said wireframe on the thing, and I was like, what does she mean by that? Like,
Oh, I
how am I
would
supposed to
say
do that?
a wireframe is one screen that you mock up in a user scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would do some rough user scenarios that are like comprised of very rough wireframes. And then
Okay.
you might, I don't know what I said in the assignment about formalizing that as like a more of
Hmm.
a formal wireframe.
Okay. Because I've been like drawing up sketches.
That's great. That's awesome. And those are really cool to show your process, all of the
Yeah.
thinking that was involved in making your choices. So that's good.
So I've been like, I didn't want to start anything yet, but I've been like trying to draw out what I want, like how it's gonna function.
Okay, remind everybody
Because,
what your app is about.
so my app
Oh
is
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
it's my
picker,
color
color
picker.
picker.
I'm
Yeah.
designing the logo in my topography class, so this is the logo that I've already designed for it, or my iconic logo.
Cool.
Um, and I've already started to like make business cards for my class and everything for this company that I'm working on for your class as well.
Nice.
So I'm kind of blending the classes together, but it's like a color picker where it focuses on designers and those who want color to find an easy and efficient way to bring color to their designs and website interfaces and whatever else they're using it for. So I've been looking at my Pantone quite a bit, and that's a pretty awesome app. I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
but there's a lot of stuff that they do that I want to integrate in mine. Um, I want to focus on, since it's mostly targeting designers, I wanted to have the capability to link with Adobe Cloud using Bridge. So the functionality that I have mocked up or somewhat idealized, where to go? I've kind of drawn out my scenario of what I kind of
Hmm.
want it to look like for now.
Hmm.
We have like the main menu and whatnot. The logo will go here and all this
Hmm.
easy
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I want to have the color wheel, like a main color wheel where you have of whatever spectrum you choose, whether it's RYB, RGB, or CMYK spectrums. They all offer different Pantone, whether it's uncoded or coded.
Hmm.
They'll all offer different color spectrums, and then it'll have the entire spectrum here of more of a gradient kind of feel, how they kind of blend together, so you get all the colors in between whatever colors are in here.
Uh-huh.
And then, like in Pantone, I want the ability for you to be able to fan it out, so you can be able to use kind of like a SIP magnifying glass and choose individual colors themselves. Um, and then, how I want to link it to Adobe Cloud, as I said. So I want to give you the image feature where you can go out if you're on the go. You find like a flower or something, and you're like, oh, I want a color value of this purple flower.
Hmm.
You snap an image of it, and it loads up on your phone, and it gives you all the color swatches that are within that image that you took that you can choose from.
Hmm.
And then amongst these colors, you can double click on them and save them individually. And then down here on the bottom, you'll have a send or share button where you can link it to your Adobe Cloud and save it directly into your swatches, whether it's Adobe InDesign or Illustrator or Photoshop, and you can use those colors that you actually found.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Do you guys have thoughts? Right? Any thoughts?
I think the linking to Adobe is really cool.
Mhm. Zach, I think since you're starting to draw, it might be helpful. I would copy these, just on a copier or something like that, and you can develop user scenarios by, like, if you had all these as separate things. Okay, I'm going to have this, the first one where the logo and the inner app, that's going to be the starting. Okay, user scenario 1, I want to take a picture of something I see. So immediately already I'm thinking, oh my gosh, in this user scenario, it seems like there should be some kind of a camera button right on the first screen to capture
Yeah,
something.
that'll
Do
be
you know
up
what I
here.
mean?
It'll take the place of the search bar.
So as you're but then what would the next screen look like? And then you may realize it looks like something you've drawn. And I just think that it might be more helpful to work with these if you have them chopped into separate pieces, and then you can kind of sequence them together for different scenarios. And if you had multiple copies of them, then you can kind of start playing with that.
Yeah, that's the plan. I got to get out a rough sketch of what I want first before I can do anything else.
Right. Well, I mean, you're definitely making progress, but think about ways in which people might be using this now.
I'm trying to think of ways of how I would use it as well, since I'm part of the talker audience.
Yeah, exactly. And talk to some of the other people that use Adobe products. I mean, your classmates here in the graphic design program, they probably have a lot of ideas for you.
Yeah, I've been asking them if they have a color app, what they look for, what they want more from an app that they actually use. So.
Well,
But
it
then I
looks
have
good.
like more basic sketches of stuff. But it's getting there.
Yeah, yeah. Is it mostly primarily for graphic designers and screen-based designers? What about
Yes.
interior? Yeah, okay. I mean, for people that are designing for the screen, Pantone, I mean, I, I, I don't know. I'm just trying to limit your scope of your audience so that your app might be more focused.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if we're designing for the screen, really Pantone coded, I mean, I don't think people would necessarily be interested in that.
Yeah, that'd be more for like print production.
Well, anyway, just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at right now.
Well, it looks good. It looks like you're making progress.
Yep, getting there.
Well, do you guys have any other questions for me?
Nope.
Our next critique, I don't have anything scheduled for Thursday because I'm out of town. So our next critique is next week at this time. But you guys can send me anything between now and then.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, have a
Okay.
good one.
All right. Bye-bye.